350. Oh, phone on. What up, man? Now we gonna talk that real shit. Real shit. They gon' Oh, phone on. What up, man?
What is going on, people? After that long ass delay, of course, StreamYard just be fucking up like that. But welcome back to the John F. Pipney podcast. I'm your host, John F. Pipney. And yeah, uh, the Bears now is taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after, of course, them getting their ass just manhandled against the Green Bay Packers. And I talked about what the Bears needed to do, what they supposed to do, and they didn't do none of it. I said the Green Bay Packers and the Bears was gonna have the same similar type of game plan, that both of them is gonna have to find a way to get both quarterbacks started. I said it already. Immediate passes, short passes, um, hitch routes, slants. Seemed like the Green Bay Packers, of course, did exactly what they needed to do, and that's what led them to the victory. And it seemed that on the other end with the Chicago Bears, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. They restrained. They basically restrained Justin Fields, told him to do what they wanted him to do, and that was it. They're gonna have to mix up what they did last year and what they trying to do this year in order to basically be successful. If not, the team is gonna have a very very long season when it come down to it, and that's basically what the hell is gonna happen. Now, over the past few days and everything else, because I watched only part of the game because I was at work. I've been listening to the radio stations. I listen to KO Sports Talk, the Ghost of Judah Tribe, Sports Talk Michael. Everyone spoke on what they believe was the reasons, and it was very simple. Most of the starters wasn't in. Majority of the preseason training camp, guys was constantly hurt in every form of training camp leading up to the season. And when it came down to it, none of those guys prepared. They wasn't prepared. The game plan overall sucked. They didn't have a secondary game plan to go into the next half to try to get Justin Fields and the offense prepared. The defense definitely was not ready for any goddamn thing. So if they want to actually win this next game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, these are the things they basically is gonna have to do. Number one, you're just gonna have to let Justin Fields be Justin Fields. Number two, you're gonna have to try to move that pocket, much like they did much of last year during that 5-6 game stretch when they was able to basically score 30 points per game. Well, they averaged I think 29 at the end of it, scoring 29 points per game. The defense is going to have to blitz more often because clearly you still cannot have a pass rush with just 4 down linemen, especially now in today's NFL when you don't have the Aaron Donalds, the Chris Jones, even back in the day for the Bears, the Tommy Harris's, the Tank Johnsons, the Ian Scotts. You don't have Adewale Ogunleye, Alex Brown. You don't have those type of guys. So because of that, they're basically going to have to blitz the linebackers, blitz safeties in certain spots, blitz the nickelback corner, even though now I believe that Kyler Gordon may be out and there's a chance that he had broke his hand. So yeah, that's how that's gonna have to go. What's going on, Kasim Baker? How you doing, man? How you feeling today, man? You know, just I know you've been around all the Chicago Bears streamers, and basically everyone except Judah have basically been trying to come up with excuses the reason why this team didn't perform well. They wasn't prepared. That was it. That's the simplest motion basically to it. But now just going on to the next matchup, of course, Tampa Bay found a way to win their game against the Minnesota Vikings that won, 12, 13 games last year. And now the Bears have to travel to Tampa Bay and try to find a way to get the win. Like I said before, they're going to have to allow Justin Fields to play his game and to basically allow him to run around the field, have a little bit more design runs for him. Basically try to suck that defense up so he can hit those midline passes. He hit a few of them in week one, but for the most part, everyone sees the recipe on trying to stop Justin Fields and that's run zone all day, try to force him to be quarterback, and that's how they're gonna win. So if you want him to do something, you gotta allow him to just run around a little bit early, get the defense sucked up, then run some play action pass in between that, some rollouts and all the above, or they're just going to keep him in front. You got to have to force them to try to play a little bit of man to man because he's still able to get yards doing that. And they're definitely going to have to be able to pass block a hell of a lot better because it seemed like everybody on the offensive line getting harassed. Of course, Nate Davis is the main name that keep coming up. Him and Chase Claypool names keep coming up. Of course, Chase Claypool not having effort on his routes, getting blown up by guys that's like 5'8", 5'9", and he's 6'4", 230, getting manhandled by little guys out there because he's not getting the ball right away. He's just another diva out there that if he's not getting the ball early, he's not going to put in the effort. So if he's not going to put in the effort, don't have him on the field until he decides to get his shit together. So that's basically how that got to go in that regards. But you have what everyone's seen so far. They're not going to be a very, very good team in terms of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they're going to be a sustainable team this year with their quarterback, as long as they're able to provide him time, and long as they do what he's good at, running the ball and him feeding off the run, off play action pass. So along with him trying to do that, which basically that's all he always been with Baker Mayfield, they're gonna have to do some blitzes in between that, like I stated earlier before. They're gonna have to mix up their concepts because they literally just dropped everybody back in zone against the Packers and just thought that everything was going to be peachy with Jordan Love. I think he was like at one point 8 of 10 for like 141 yards, 2 touchdowns, and with a perfect passer rating on third down because instead of them trying to blitz him and try to create some type of pressure, they all just sat back and he was able to cook them. So if you're allowing Jordan Love, who only made his second start, to cook you, Baker Mayfield within that same time frame, especially having 4, sometimes 5 seconds to pass, he's going to do the same goddamn thing. Any quarterback in the NFL that you give 4 to 5 seconds to is going to light you up no matter what. It doesn't matter how below average they are, how above average they are. If you're giving them 4 to 5 seconds to pass the ball, that's it. The Bears only had Justin Fields to allow 2.5, maybe 3 seconds sometimes. But that's the NFL. You only gonna get that amount of time to get the ball out. And it seems that Justin Fields still does not have that type of quarterback banter that we need him to be in terms of a passer. So you're gonna have to allow him to do certain things outside the box. You're going to have to do a lot of those concepts from last year, like I said, to try to suck that defense up. So when he do pass the ball, then yes, those receivers will be open. Also, how much money did you pay? How much money and everything that you do to try to get DJ Moore over him to only target him 2 times? The best receiver that you had was Darnell Mooney in week 1, who scored a touchdown, who had what they call 4 or 5 passes on 5 or 6 targets. Now I know Darnell Mooney is a good receiver, and that's still our main man, basically Justin Fields, main man right now, but you have a dynamic receiver in DJ Moore. Try to utilize him. Try to get Chase Claypool the ball early if you're gonna still have him out there. So then so he can be in the game. And of course, it seemed like Roshan Johnson is the most dynamic running back so far. He's running guys over. He's finding ways to make plays out there. Have him either be your starter or at least have him out there on short yardage situations. It shouldn't have been a quarterback sneak one time and then after that you got your goddamn tight end who never snaps the goddamn ball, get it, and try to get a first down. And ever since that play, seemed like everything just went straight downhill for the Bears from here on out. And they was actually moving the ball that first drive before everything went downhill. So once the Bears try to get some type of momentum, guess what? Sustain that momentum or on those fourth downs and shorts when you think it's not going to happen. Punt the goddamn football and pin the team deep and force them to have to go the full length of the goddamn field and give your defense more of an opportunity to try to get stops. Now, when it come down to it, of course, the offensive coordinator, he's trying to force Justin Fields to play the game that he wants him to play, and that's be in the pocket, look downfield, go through your progressions, and then check down if it's not there. Clearly, Justin Fields is still not that type of quarterback yet. Yeah, he did do a few good things in the beginning of the game when it wasn't there, check down, and they was able to get some yards up the field, get a few first downs. But like I said, that was only early in the game. After that, shit went south. So basically, man, it's just a lot of shit that this team has to do. And if they don't do it in this week, they're behind the eight ball early. And guess what, man? It's gonna be a long 17 fucking games. It's gonna be a long 4 months for the Chicago Bears. And I'm not looking forward to seeing that this season. Even though I already said what I expected, um, because I haven't been on YouTube, a lot of people have not heard what I expected. I've been saying it to KO Sports Talk, Chicago Sports Talk, Michael, the Ghost of Judah Tribe. I expect them to win 5 to 8 games max. Much like last year when I saw how the defense was put together, how the offense was running, I said they was going to win 5 games max last year, and they won 3. So them winning 5 to 8 games is still within the spectrum right now because as what I seen, especially in the preseason, which I've told Chicago Sports Talk Michael, they still give up too many runs up the middle. They still don't have they still don't have enough pressure in the pass rush. They still inconsistent in terms of being able to stop the pass. Yeah, Stevenson is a good physical corner, but as of right now, it looked like he reminds me of Mike Green. If you don't know who Mike Green is, he was a strong safety. He used to play for the Bears back in the day, number 43. He could knock the shit out of you. He was real physical. He was a real physical safety, but he couldn't cover worth shit. Now, of course, this is only the first game of the season, and he's only a rookie. But it seems like that seems to be the problem. If he can't get his hands on you, he can't be physical with you, he's going to get beat right then and there. Of course, everyone knows not to throw to Johnson, so they're not going to throw the ball to him. They're just going to keep throwing the ball to Stevenson. Like I said, Kyler Gordon will not be there because it's a possibility that he broke his hand. So it's already a lot of alarming areas for our team right then and there the first week, which I've been telling these guys throughout the entire preseason what's going to happen. And everyone keep trying to tell me that, they're going to win 10 games or Chicago Sports Talk Michael and Judah saying they're going to win 13 games. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? This team is not set up to win all those games, not just yet. They may win it later, but it seems like so far, Coach Eberflus won't be there for the ride. If Justin Fields don't get it together, he won't be there for the ride either. So they already constructing a lot of things together, but we just gonna see how the hell that's gonna go. But going back to the Bucks team, it's early in the season, so it's gonna be real fucking hot down there. That team plays in the heat all the time, so they're gonna have somewhat of an advantage against our Bears team. They're gonna have to find a way to jump on the Bucks early, jump on them early, get a good type of game plan together in order to get those guys basically in the mix early. If not, it's gonna be hell. It's gonna be hell from the beginning to the end. And then guess what, man? It's gonna be another loss and another week of everyone bitching and complaining and coming up with excuses. But when it come down to it, man, it's just gonna mean the simplest fact. This team is not prepared to win. This team was because this team was hurt majority of the goddamn training camp. Almost everybody almost fucking hurt. Most of these guys is not in shape. They not in shape. They not prepared to play football right now. And it might take all the way into halfway throughout the season before this team actually goes out there and play cognitive football, much like they did last year. Now, of course, last year they was at one point they was 3-4, but they traded away Roquan Smith, they traded away Robert Quinn, they traded away certain guys, and then after that, defense just went like this. That's not the case this year. You got Tremaine Edwards and TJ Edwards and guys like that. But guess what? It doesn't matter if you have great linebackers if your defensive line cannot stop nobody. And guess what the Buccaneers is going to do? They're going to do exactly what the Green Bay Packers did last week. They're going to try to run the ball, got all the way down their fucking throat. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to run that ball down their fucking throat, and then they're going to do play action pass, and they're going to do a few in between drop back passes in between that, and they're going to try to knife through that goddamn team like butter, basically like Green Bay was able to do. Now Jordan Love was what 15 of 27, so he had some success out there, but when it was time to make those good passes, score those touchdowns and those good passes to keep them trains moving, that's what they was able to do. So we already know exactly what the game plan is going to be. Offensively, they're going to do that. Defensively, run zone, every blue moon blitz a guy. Most of the time, it's going to be zone blitz concepts. Every blue moon, it might be a straight up man to man, but in those few times it's going to be man to man, most likely the Bears is going to be running the football. They're probably going to do it being a man-to-man concept, probably on first down, because they know 9 times out of 10, the Bears are going to try to run the football up the middle. It's going to be just like what Matt Nagy did. First play, run the ball. Second play, run the ball. Third down, pass. And that's basically what the hell they did last week, and I believe that's what the Bears are going to do this week. Hopefully, they mix up the concept a little bit better and give Justin Fields a chance to go out there and play. Now, I'm not as angry as I was last year because by the time it was like week 3, week 4, I was just like, fuck this team, man. I'm predicting them to win to lose every fucking game from here on out because they're not doing what the hell I need them to do. So hopefully they can do that. And my prediction for this game, I'm gonna start giving out 2 predictions, basically like I did last year. If the Chicago Bears win this game, it's not going to be a high score game. It's going to be 20 points or less. If they're able to get 24 points, fine. But it's going to be more likely what 20-17 Bears. And if the Buccaneers win, they're gonna stump a mud hole out. They're gonna stump a big ass mud hole in the Bears. It's gonna be more like 31-20, much like it was 38 to 20 last year. Because of course, I'm not saying last year, but last week, because of course Justin Fields not able to pass the ball down the field, throwing a pick six or a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So hopefully this team can find a way to just get it in, stop handcuffing Justin Fields and just allow him to play his goddamn game. That's literally all they have to do the entire time. Allow Justin Fields to play his game, and maybe then this team will be able to do something out there. But if you're not allowing him to do it, this team is gonna fail. This team is gonna fail. We already know in so many ways Ryan Poles didn't really don't want Justin Fields. And if he didn't perform the way he did last year in terms of running football and the team scoring all those points, Justin Fields wouldn't even be here. They would have traded him away in the offseason. He just looking for a reason not to resign Justin Fields. Now, a lot of Bear fans, because I'm on a lot of Bear fans Facebook groups that's pertaining to the Bears. Most of them all throughout the entire offseason been talking shit about Justin Fields, how he's not this, he's not that, he's not this, he's not that. And so far through week one, they've been proven right, and they loving every minute of it that they don't want him there. They want to get rid of him. Honestly, I want Justin Fields to be here because he's the most dynamic quarterback that the Bears has had throughout the entire creation, basically. But it seems like because of the coaching staff is not able to do what they need to do to allow him to be the player that we need him to be, that you're handcuffing him. Let him find his way throughout this season, much like they was doing last year. It seemed like only thing they did was handcuff him, much like they did in the last game that he played throughout the season. And look what that was last year. He was 5 of 20, like 47 yards, a fumble, 2 interceptions, and he looked at just putrid altogether. And that's when they played the Detroit Lions last year. And guess what? They got their ass stomped out. So if you want Justin Fields to do something great, allow him to be great. You may have to shrink that playbook a little bit and then expand it as the season goes on. If you know already the quarterback that you have is not a dynamic passer, then you gotta create and scheme ways to get DJ Moore open, to get Chase Claypool open. Seemed like Darnell Mooney just got it down packed. He's gonna get his catches. Got to find a way to scheme Cole Kmet open, much like they did last year. That's the reason why he was able to get those 7 receiving touchdowns, because you schemed him open correctly. You have to be able to do that with your wide receivers. We already know that the running back is going to be open most of the time out in the flats because they're backing up. They're doing zone concepts. They're not running a lot of cover 2. They run a lot of cover 3, cover 4, cover 3 blitzes. They're doing zone blitz concepts. So you already know what you got to do. You got to try to suck their defense up because they're running 2-man cloud over the top. You got to try to find a way to get them to be in a single safety set. So that means guess what? You got to have to be able to run that football consistently down their throat in order to get them to have 8 men in the box, so that you can attack that defense over the top with only having a single high safety. That's what everyone did to the Bears last year. That's what ended up happening to the Bears in week 1. Because they was able to run the football like they was, guess what? The Bears couldn't be in that 2-man shell deep. They have to put 8 men in the box, have 1 man over the top, and guess what? They was able to start cooking. On top of that, the linebackers wasn't in position that they needed to be, because guess what? It was getting sucked up because they thought it was a run play on those play action passes. So now the linebackers are not in the right position. He able to fit it over the top where that linebacker was supposed to be in the middle of the field. Or because of that run concept, the linebacker wasn't able to get out and be in that crease where he was, and boom, slant route wide open, first down. That's the things that we already know that Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to do. I already know. But I already know that that's what the Bears going to have to do. So hopefully this team can find a way to get it together, because if not, it's going to be critical for this team all the way through this season. Not just this week. The entire season is going to be like that. So hopefully this team can find a way to just to get it together. Get it together because if not, man, it's gonna be like I said, man, it's gonna be a long fucking season. So hopefully they can find a way to get it together. If not, hey man, it's Bear fans. It's gonna be another mediocre. Well, it's gonna be below mediocre again. It's gonna be below mediocre again. It's gonna be 5 wins max. Hopefully they can get to 8 wins or more. As of right now, it doesn't look that way because guess what? The team is not performing. Guys is not in shape. Guys is not prepared. That's what happened when some guys get paid and they become lazy. They don't want to go out there and do what the hell they're supposed to do. They want to do what the hell they want to do. Make your team accountable. Make guys out there that's accountable. They're not going to play the brand of football you want them to play when it's necessary. Get them out of there. Get them out of there. Don't let them play. Replace them. Chase Claypool can be replaced by Tyler Scott. Tyler Scott wants to be out there. I bet if you put him in that situation, I bet he make that block. I bet he run those routes hard. I bet he does exactly what he needs to do. Nate Davis, he been paid so much goddamn money to a point that they have no choice but to put him out there, even though he sat on his ass for the last 3-4 months. Hey man, you got to do what you got to do. Hopefully, eventually, Tevin Jenkins can come back, and he can come back and play well because it seems like that's one of the glue pieces that we missing. Even though he only plays 12 games a year, seems like he's out every goddamn year. But if Tevin Jenkins is able to play, maybe he can help out that offensive line or something. But like I said, man, if this team just got to do what the hell they got to do. So I'm gonna end this podcast, man. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, and this is Jonah Pittman coming back to you with another podcast, man. Hopefully, let's just see what this team is going to be able to do in week 2. All right, people. Peace.
Gon' hit your spine on the other side. It come out your lip. You heard what I said. I ain't even off a jigger. This shit get different.